So what's up, family? It is openers week. We are 2 weeks out from the meet. As in next week, we're pretty much just resting and training very, very, very light. I'm talking like 50%, just practicing commands. So no actual workouts next week. It's totally a rest week. Anyway, today was my second day of practicing openers. We did my squat opener on Monday, and then we did my bench opener today. Just came back from it, and then Friday we have my deadlift opener. And this week has been an amazing learning experience. As you guys know, I'm brand spanking new to powerlifting. I don't know much about it at all. I'm very grateful to my friends, Jeremy, Simon, Johnny, everyone who's helped me out, because I'm constantly texting them, asking them questions. Such noob questions. I probably bugged them a little bit. But anyway, so I've always been told, openers, you want to pick a weight that you can do for 3 reps, that you're going to open up with, obviously. That way, you know you can do it to get your name on the books. So I think up until this point, I've been taking that, I think, a little bit too literally, or perhaps trying to milk that. As in, I was thinking, okay, 430, that's a weight I can do for 3 reps on squats. I wasn't really thinking about the fact that, okay, that's a weight I can do on squats, like on a good day, putting all my energy and effort into it. And the same thing with the bench press. I was planning on opening with 315, and hopefully getting a 350 by my last attempt. But I didn't really take into account the fact that, 315, even though I can get it, even on a bad day, it's still heavy enough where it's going to exert a good amount of energy out of me. Now, no, 430 on squats, 315 on bench is not going to take the amount of energy out of me that, say, like a PR, a 1 rep max would. No. But it is going to take a good amount of energy out of me, probably more than I would want to take out of me, knowing I have 2 heavier lifts to go right after it, if that makes sense to you guys. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to show you guys this footage of the openers. This week was a horrible week as it was, because I'm dipping low into the 170s and I've been on no carbs. And my plan is to do that up until this weekend, and then the final week leading up to my meet, basically carb up and calorie up day by day and eat my way up into the meet, into my weight class. And that way, when I finally weigh in at 181, probably 180, I'll be well fed and I'll be well energized. So eat my way up into the meet so I can be optimal strong. So this week I'm at my weakest. I'm drained. But aside from that, aside from the openers being a little bit slower and rougher because of that, I also just realized, like, okay, I feel like I used a lot more energy than I should have for an opener. Like after I finished my 315 bench today, the idea of doing a 335 after and then going for like a 350 after that really just felt exhausting. And it dawned on me, I was like, okay, that's what people mean. You don't want to exhaust yourself at all during these openers. So it kind of dawned on me, it was a good eye-opener, great learning experience this week. So I'm going to reevaluate all my openers. Squats, I may open up with something as light as 405, 410 at the heaviest. My bench, I may actually bring my opener down to 300 pounds. I might do no more than 300 for an opener. And then jump up to a 335 for my second, and then try to go for that 350 for my third. And that way, my openers won't exert any energy out of me, and they won't take away from my second 2 attempts. And obviously, we're going to try deadlifts on Friday, and I'll evaluate it from there, depending on how they feel. So, great learning experience. I almost wasn't going to show you this footage because this week went really horrible and the openers looked really ugly, but I'm learning, and I want to basically walk you guys through what I learned as I learn it. So without further ado, this was the week of my original planned openers, and like I said, I will be reevaluating them and making them much lighter going into this meet. It was really a great eye-opener and a great way to understand what an opener is supposed to be. So I don't regret going through this week at all, despite it not being my prettiest. Quick question, anybody who's familiar with the IPF, USAPL. I'm sure they'll go over this at the actual meet when they go over the rules, and I can just ask this to an official at the meet. But if any of you guys know offhand, do you guys know if I do this little setup before I pull, right, get myself going twice and then I pull the slack out in doing so. Do you know if that would be flagged? Because I know in some federations, like, technically just pulling the slack out, the second you pull on that bar, it's considered pulling. So doing this and then letting it go again would be red lighted. So do you guys know if, like, how that works with the IPF, what I'm allowed to do, what I'm not allowed to do? If I wasn't allowed to do that, honestly, I could even just push the bar down to the ground and do it, because all this is for me is just a mental setup. I don't actually need to do it. But yeah, anybody who's familiar with the IPF, USAPL, so let me know in the comments, pretty please. Openers! It is time to do openers. I went into this week Extremely excited to do them, and it ended up being a very, very disappointing week. One of my worst weeks pretty much of lifting that I've had throughout the entire prep. But I'm not letting that get me down at all. Pause. Shout out to Everforward right there. A little bit of love. Not letting that get me down at all, as I know it was just a bad week. The week before this, my heaviest week, you saw me squatting, the 455 and everything. That week went amazingly. And I know that's what my lifting is going to be like with proper rest and good carbs and food and whatnot in me. Not a big deal. In fact, bad lifts, bad weeks can sometimes, as long as it's not like an actual strength issue, can sometimes be better for you because it gets you refocused. If you have really good weeks all the time, you end up getting a little bit too complacent, too comfortable. A bad week will kind of refocus you. So next time when I go into lift big, which will be the meet, I'll be hungry, making sure I do everything correctly. Here you see me trying on those medium knee sleeves that I bought just for this meet, thinking that they give me a little bit of extra spring as my normal size is a size large. I gotta tell you guys, I'm very disappointed that I spent $90 in getting these. They didn't help at all. They gave no extra spring whatsoever. Now, granted, I messed up my 430 rep here, and you'll see that in a second. But even like just with the warm-ups, I felt no extra spring in my knees whatsoever. People say it adds 15 to 20 pounds. I didn't feel anything. I just felt more discomfort because they're too tight. LOL. There's Mike, the owner of this gym, Ocean State Health and Fitness in East Greenwich, Rhode Island, checking out my low bar technique. He's a natural competitive bodybuilder himself. This gym is slowly becoming the only strength-oriented gym in Central Rhode Island. I love it. Some of you guys ask me why I use wrist straps when squatting, and some of you guys even make fun of me for it. I only use them when low bar squatting because the bar's so far down your back, it puts a lot of strain on your wrists. And I mean, put it this way, guys, I can bench 365 and I still don't wear wrist straps when benching. So, I mean, believe me, I'm not going to wear something if I don't need it. You need it for low bar squatting, at least I do. Check out this 405 rep here. This is what my opener is really going to be, I've decided, about 405. Went up nice and easy, even on a bad week of training. That's going to be my decided opener. Here's 430 pounds, which originally was going to be my opener, but again, I decided it takes out way too much effort, even though I can get it. Like here, I messed up. Whoop, see that bar path? I fell backwards. Still got it up. So 430 is a way I can still get up, but it just takes too much energy out of me, and I wouldn't want to have to go into a 460 squat and then a 475, 485 PR right after that. So 405 is going to be my opener, and then I'll probably do like a 450 for my second attempt. Again, that 450 just shy of my max to maintain some good energy, and then I can put all my energy into a good PR for my third attempt, whether it's 475, 480, 485, we'll decide that day. Moved on to benching, and again, benching was actually probably the most successful of this big three. Benching went the smoothest. The rep was a little bit slower than usual just because I was extra light today, but apart from that, benching went very smooth. Here's 315, again, my original planned opener, and you can see it goes up nice and smooth. It's not a grinder, but it's a little bit slower than an opener should be. I was talking to a few powerlifters, and they pointed this out to me too. This is something I hadn't really thought of. Your opener not only wants to be something that's easy for you to do so you can get it without burning energy, you also want to take into account that you're going to be on a new bench with a new bar, with strangers all around you in a strange environment. If you have to focus really hard on that, I don't know who the hell was diddling in the camera right there. Never noticed that. This gym is full of trolls. But if you have to focus really hard on your bench and it's your first time using that bench and that bar, that may throw you off. So you want something that's going to be easy that you don't have to think about. And you want it to be a good confidence gainer as well. So you want that first rep to fly up. That way you're feeling nice and strong and confident. If 315 went up kind of slow, yeah, the strength's still there. It wasn't a grinder, but I might be kind of psyching myself out now. Well, that was a little slow. Can I really do 335 next? Should I keep it 330? And you don't want that mentality. I kept this workout like not even a workout. I did one set of floor presses, one set of close grip presses, just 5 reps each, left it at that, low volume, but I wanted to keep my sticking point and my triceps nice and activated because that is key to keeping my bench strong. Basically, the point I've learned this week, since I don't have actual coaching or any real guidance, I'm making a lot of mistakes here, guys, is your opener should basically be your last warm-up. Okay, you want something that being around strangers in a new environment isn't going to throw off, and you want something that's going to fly up fast to get your mind confident for your next lifts. So here you see me deadlifting without doing the humping, pulling the slack out method. And then here you see me deadlifting with my hump, pull the slack out method. And I'm not sure if that's allowed or not. So I'm going to find that out the day of my actual meet. I went to go pull 500 and I didn't pull it, which is the weirdest thing because 500 flies up even on bad days, which led me to believe that I was just focusing too much on my setup instead of the actual lift. So I cleared my head, went into it without thinking, and 500 pounds went up easy. So that will still be my opener. Time to back off on caffeine and rest my CNS until the meet.